So I've been asked a few times, asked by my ex's sister and a couple of friends from Galway and a couple of people here from Utah. What do I like better, Ireland or Utah? Ireland or the U.S., Ireland or Hawaii? So I love a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. So I love Utah for its beauty. I love Utah for its traditional values. I even love Utah for the Mormons, and I'll never be a Mormon. I was born into a Mormon family, left, have no intentions on going back. It's, the story is fictional. It's an interesting story. It's a great story. It's like Harry Potter. It's fictional. The Bible, on the other hand, I don't think is fictional. At least the Gnostic Bible. I would say that is very accurate, but that's beside the point. I love this place for various reasons, and not even for like old friends and family. I mean, most of them have moved away in the last, 30 years since I hung out with them. They're in other parts of the world as well. And some of them have come back and left. Some of them have come back and stayed. But, we're 40 something. So it's not about hanging out anymore. It's not like high school. I like the economics here. I like the business opportunities. I like that most people are in business for themselves, even if they work a 9-to-5 job. They've started an MLM or some other bullshit, but they're all into entrepreneurial activities. I like a lot of that about this place. Most of that is the most compelling part of why I came back. The beauty, the economics, the traditional values, beautiful women here. I like Hawaii for a lot of the same reasons. The old school traditional values, the Ohana values, the, real closeness, of each other. The economics there suck. It's like 3 times as high of cost of living to live there as it does to live here. So I'm not impressed with that. I would love to live there again. I probably will live there again someday. Maybe when I'm old and gray, halfway there anyway. And then Ireland. So the things I don't like about the U.S. are the things I like about Ireland, is that they're different. And mostly it's about war and economics and funding the industrial war complex or whatever it is. War industrial complex. I don't know how they phrase it, but I don't like war. I'm against war. I'm against killing. It's partly why I've always been against abortion. I'm pragmatic enough to know, there's instances where that's a real good idea. But I think, there should be a threshold, like 5 weeks, when the baby's heart starts, that's when there should be a cutoff date. But, I've always been pro-life in that I don't like war and I don't like killing babies. And I like that about Ireland. Ireland is very traditionally valued, or used to be. It's getting a lot more corrupt. It's a lot more like the U.S. than it's ever been. Irish would take that as a compliment. It is not a compliment to be anything like this place. The U.S. is falling to pieces morally, ethically, economically. I mean, we have no money. We have how many trillions of dollars in debt? That means we have no money. We're negative in money. Everything's falling apart here, infrastructure and everything. So, and it's the moral decay. It's like the Roman Empire. At the end of the Roman Empire, it was fuck everybody, this and that, whatever makes you feel happy, whatever gets you off, do what makes you feel best. They were fucking little boys and shit, like the, nobility or the, upper echelon or whatever. They were sick. They were fucking perverts. And that's when their empire started falling apart, is when the moral decay started to happen. The affluence of the culture made them bored. And in their boredom, they started just doing whatever made them feel great. The best sexual experience, the best drug experience, the best whatever experience, it was all about the experience. And then the moral decay happened, and then the empire fell apart. It's where the U.S. is at. Ireland's getting there, quite honestly, but it's still like 1950s U.S. as opposed to 2020s U.S. 2020s U.S. is gross. 1950s U.S. was wonderful, beautiful place. Way, way more ethical, moral, a lot more wealthy, didn't have a whole lot of debt. It was a better place. The middle class had a better situation, much better situation than they do now. No, be envious of the U.S. is not a a reality for those reasons. But beauty-wise, I mean, the planet here is gorgeous. You know, this area of the world is amazing. I've shown you these 14,000 foot mountains, you know, beautiful, beautiful, like unordinary mountains and beautiful blue skies and, you know, just the most amazing lakes and rivers. It's gorgeous. So there's good reasons to be in the U.S., but if you care anything about the future, about your children, about your grandchildren, you know, about the moral decay of our world, the U.S. is not a great place to raise kids or to be, for that matter, especially not to find a woman. Passport bros for me, I think, man. These women in the U.S. are spoiled and rotten. So are the men, for that matter. But dating here, I'm not dating men, I'm dating women. It's hard. It's hard to wrap my brain around it. Even the nicest ones, I've had to be like, fuck off, I just can't wrap my head around it. And it's not based on the women. It's based on the societal decay, the corruption, and the toxicity that empowers people to be toxic, that encourages people to be toxic so they could be great people. Deep down, you know, morally, ethically, loyally, wonderful people. It's just what pulls them apart, what pulls the world apart is all of this moral decay and toxicity, and they can't help, people in society can't help but be toxic in a toxic environment. You know, it's like if you have a pet, like an iguana or something, and, you know, you have a happy, healthy environment for it, it's a happy and healthy creature. If you, you know, make his environment toxic, whatever, put a little, you know, motor oil in there, or, you know, some sort of decay, and, well, then that's what that creature becomes its environment. And so, yeah, morally and ethically, it's a rough place to be, but it is a beautiful place. I'm glad to be back in Utah, and the traditional values here are still somewhat preserved. Thank you, God.